Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. This time of the third chapter from Animorphs #1, The Invasion by K.A. Applegate. They have come to destroy you. It was strange, the way we all just knew he was telling the truth. No one said, "No way," or "You're making it up." We all just knew. He was dying, and he was trying to warn us of something terrible. They are called Yeerks. They are different from us, different from you as well. Are you telling us they're already here on Earth? Rachel demanded. Many are here, hundreds, maybe more. Why hasn't anybody noticed them? Marco said reasonably. I think someone would have mentioned it at school. You do not understand. Yeerks are different. They have no body like yours or mine. They live in the bodies of other species. I guess he couldn't think of a word to explain Yeerks, so he closed his eyes and seemed to concentrate. Suddenly a bright picture popped into my head. I saw a gray-green, slimy thing like a snail without shell, only bigger, the size of a rat, maybe. It wasn't a pretty picture. I'm guessing that was Yeerk, Marco said. Either that or a very big wad of slimy chewing gum. They're almost powerless without host. Suddenly we felt the blast of pain straight from the alien. I could also feel sadness. He knew his time was almost up. The Yeerks are parasites. They must have a host to live in. In this form they are known as controllers. They enter the brain and are absorbed into it, taking over the host's thoughts and feelings. They try to get the host to accept them voluntarily. It is easier that way. Otherwise, the host may be able to resist, at least a little. Are you saying they take over human beings? Rachel asked. People? These things take over their bodies? Look, this is serious stuff, I said. You shouldn't be telling us. We're just kids, you know? This is like something the government should know about. We had hoped to stop them, the alien continued. Swarms of the bug fighters were waiting when our dome ship came out of Z-space. We knew of their mothership and were ready for the bug fighters, but the Yeerks surprised us. They had hidden a powerful blade ship in a crater of your moon. We fought, but we lost. They have tracked me here. They will be here soon to eliminate all traces of me and my ship. How can they do that? Cassie wondered. The alien seemed to smile with his eyes. The Dracon beams will leave nothing behind but a few molecules of the ship and this body, he said. I sent a message to my home world. We Andalites fight the Yeerks wherever they go throughout the universe. My people will send help, but it may take a year, even more, and by then the Yeerks will have control of this planet. After that, there is no hope. You must tell people. You must warn your people. Another spasm of pain ripped through him, and we all knew he was nearly gone. No one is ever going to believe us, Marco said hopelessly. He looked at me and shook his head. No way. He was right. If these Yeerks were to wipe out the Andalite ship, how on earth would we ever convince people? They'd think we were either nuts or on drugs. I don't care if he thinks he's going to die. We have to try and help him, Rachel said. We can get him to hospital, or maybe Cassie's parents. There is no time, no time, the Andalite said. Then his eyes brightened. Perhaps. What? Go into my ship. You'll see a small blue box, very plain. Bring it to me, quickly. I have very little time, and the Yeerks will find me soon. We all looked at each other. Who was going to be the one to go inside the ship? Somehow we all seemed to agree it would be me. Actually, I didn't agree, but everyone else did. Go ahead, Tobias said. I want to stay with him. He knelt beside the Andalite and placed a comforting hand on the alien's narrow shoulder. I looked at the door into this spacecraft. I glanced at Cassie. Go ahead, she said, sending me a smile. You're not scared. She was wrong. I was plenty scared. But the way she smiled at me, I wasn't about to weasel out. I walked over to the door of the ship and looked inside. It was surprisingly simple. It looked cozy, almost. Everything was a creamy color with rounded edges and shapes that tended to be oval. That was one of the things that helped me to spot the box so easily. It was sky blue and square, maybe 4 inches on either side. It seemed kind of heavy for being so small. I stepped up into the ship. There was no chair, just a sort of open space where I guess the Andalite stood on his 4 hooves while he worked the few controls. There weren't a lot of buttons or anything. I wondered if the Andalite controlled the ship with his thoughts. I quickly reached for the box and started to head back outside. But then something caught my eye. It was a small, 3-dimensional picture, 4 Andalites standing all together, looking like a strange gathering of deer with solemn faces. 2 of them looked like very small kids. I realized that this was a picture of the Andalite's family. It filled me with sadness to think that here he was, dying a million miles from his family, dying because he had tried to protect the people of Earth. I felt a small flame of anger against the Yeerks or controllers or whatever they were for causing this. I went back to the circle of my friends. Here's the box, I told the Andalite. Thank you. Was that your family, that picture? Yes. I'm real sorry, I said. What else could I say? There is something I may be able to do to help you fight the Yeerks. What? Rachel demanded. I know that you are young. I know that you have no power with which to resist the controllers, but I may be able to give you some small powers that may help. We all looked at each other, all except Tobias, who never took his gaze off the alien. If you wish, I can give you powers that no other human being has ever had. Powers? What was that supposed to mean? It is a piece of Andalite technology that the Yeerks do not have, the Andalite explained. A technology that enables us to pass unnoticed in many parts of the universe, the power to morph. We have never shared this power, but your need is great. Morph? Morph how? Rachel asked. Her eyes narrowed. To change your bodies, the Andalite said, to become any other species, any animal. Marco laughed derisively. Become animals? Marco isn't the most accepting person in the world. You will only need to touch a creature to acquire its DNA pattern, and you will be able to become that creature. It requires concentration and determination, but if you are strong, you can do it. There are limitations, problems, dangers even, but there is no time to explain it all. No time. You will have to learn for yourselves. But first, do you wish to receive this power? He's kidding, right? Marco asked me. No, Tobias said softly. He's not kidding. This is nuts, Marco said. This whole thing is nuts. Yeerks and spaceships and slugs taking over people's brains and Andalites and the power to change into animals? Give me a break. Yeah, it is beyond weird, I agreed. We're off the map of weirdness by this point, Rachel said, but unless we're all just dreaming, I think we'd better deal with this. He's dying, Tobias reminded us. I'll do it, Cassie said. That surprised me. Cassie isn't usually so quick to decide. I guess, like Tobias, she felt the truth of what the Andalite was saying. I think we should all decide together, I suggested, one way or the other. What's that? Rachel asked. She was looking up toward the stars. Far, far overhead, 2 pinpoints of bright red light were shooting across the sky. Yeerks. The Andalite said the word in our minds, and we could feel his hatred. And that is the end of chapter 3. Nice happy times. And as always, to give me a nice little reward for actually completing the chapters read through. Little alcohol. I'm going to do less than last time. So yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and if you have any comments or questions about the chapter, ask below. I'll get back to you, when I can. Yay. And if you drink yourself, pour a little shot of something, or if you don't drink or are underage, take like a shot of water or soda or something non-alcoholic. Cheers. And until next video, goodbye. Let's see the little ravens there. Bye.